Hi, I'm Alex Archbold, and I've been buying and selling antiques since I was 9 years old. From basements to scrapyards, I'll look just about anywhere I can to find lost antiques and collectibles. And sometimes I'll go big and buy everything. With my wife and kids, we run an antique shop in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada, filled with some of the most unique items we can find. I never know what's going to happen or who I'm going to meet. This is our life, this is our adventure, and this is Curiosity Inc.
I'm home, honey. Well, that's what you call dodging a bullet. I pulled up here 9 a.m. Sometime over last night, they put up these no parking signs that are doing street sweeping. They almost towed my ambulance. I gotta get this in the backyard. So that's quite a way to start my day. I had the car parked in front of the store last night because I have a whole bunch of stuff to take into auction, which I guess I'll have to load by the side of my building. That's okay. Everything worked out for the positive so far, but adrenaline's still flowing. My mission this week was to get rid of a whole bunch of the excess radios that I had. You can see I have quite a pile of them here and all sorts of other things that has to go to auction. All this has got to go. I want to condense some of the toys that are over here, kind of squish them over to that side and create a localized foods, preserves, that sort of idea, things that are just really sold in our area. I'm going to rejig this whole section right here with the candy aisle to be kind of like a local foods and crafts sort of section. I think it's appropriate being a general store, and I think it'll add some interest to the shop. But to do that, I've got to thin out some more inventory. Luckily, the snow's gone now, so I can actually just pull the car right in the backyard up to the side here. This will be where eventually I have a little garage, but not quite yet. Head back in, grab another load. It is nice to get rid of some older inventory though, and I've had these radios around for a while. There are many collectors for old transistor radios. This is a nice little RCA portable in a nice leather case. And there was a few even early Sony transistors. Now all this stuff is going to go off to auction, and it'll go for whatever it goes for. I think they generally start things around $10 or $15, and it could potentially go for $5. I guess they dropped the price down, but I've got still a pile of stuff to load up before I can head over there and get it off. Oh, hey!
Good morning, Alex.
How's it going?
Not too bad.
You're not the Witcher yet today.
Not today, no.
Well, you brought me some cool things to look at, did you?
I found a pile, yeah.
Okay. Last time we were out at your place, we were digging around in sheds and barns and finding all kinds of cool stuff. And I guess we've got some more military antiques to look at. So maybe I'll end up putting some stuff out for auction today, and maybe some new stuff will come in.
A handful of
So you found some more medals and cap badges. Last time I was out there, I ended up buying that, massive collection of bayonets that you had. I see some good conduct medals, Marine Corps.
I think everything in that case should be American, I believe.
Yeah, okay. Now, did you went around to shows buying these over the years, or did you...
Yeah, say it's been about 10 years since I kind of got out of it.
The whole Cold War right there, American medals and Russian medals.
Yeah.
Opposite ends.
Propaganda hat badges and propaganda stuff in there, I think.
I see that, yeah, with their anchor. I like the logos that they put on. That one's got the beaver, British American, and a couple German Iron Cross.
Yeah, it's World War One.
That is World War One. That's Second World War. Okay, and somebody who got their sharpshooter award.
Yeah, I think that orange one is a UN medal.
International Force and Observers.
I can't remember actually.
Well, it's an interesting little
I've
collection.
been out of it for so long. Like, I used to know everything, exactly what I had, but nowadays I kind of forgot.
No, I know. Well, when you're in clearing stuff out mode, it's probably hard to keep track of everything.
Yeah.
So I guess we'll see if we can come up with an arrangement here. I'm just in the midst of clearing out a whole bunch of my own things. I'm clearing off the shelves and gonna redo the whole shop on that side. But little items like this, I can probably find use for. So we'll see if we can strike a deal here. Okay, well that was a surprise. I did end up buying all the war medals and cap badges and collar dogs that he had. And off he goes. Derek there is the fellow who does Witcher cosplay, but sadly there's no Comic-Cons this year, so he's got no place to go, and I guess you'd say all dress up and no place to go. So, but back to the auction. I've just about got everything loaded up in the vehicle, and I have just a short amount of time to get there too. So I better hustle and get on it. Otherwise, I'm gonna miss my chance to get this stuff in. Well, one more full load, ready to go. I've just offloaded everything at the auction house. Went pretty smoothly. Honestly, you never know what things are going to go for at an auction like that. It is really just a roll of the dice. That's why when you take things into an auction, it's basically one step better, more or less, than dropping it off at Goodwill or donation. Just your goal should be just to get it out of your life. And if you happen to get money for it, that's a bonus too. There are a lot of people who make their money professionally and for a living full time off of buying and selling stuff at auctions. But for me, that'd be a little too risky. But certainly has helped pay the bills in the last little while. Gonna go back to the shop, gonna try and do a little reorganizing and make room for those wonderful, fantastic, locally sourced and made products, which I have only sourced a honey vendor so far, and a soap company. I need a few more things. Oh, a salsa. I guess I've got 3 things sourced, but I don't know how crazy I want to go with that area. I imagine probably 10 different types of products in that spot, 9 or 10. So do a little research and answer some emails, and hopefully we'll find someone that can deliver on the products before we open in a few weeks. Currently, I have some giftware up at the front of the shop. I've got toys on the left-hand side, or I guess the right-hand side if you're in the store, with some puppets and things. And then over on the left, we have more of the, cups and houseware and items like that. But it's a little disjointed because if I'm going to be adding food over to this side, I should really have all the cups and accoutrement for your kitchen and stuff over with it. So I think my solution is going to be taking all of these toys and putting them either in the back room where the other toys are and leaving some of the gifty type toys up at the front. That's going to be a big job because it means that everything on that wall has to come down, and then everything on this wall has to come down and move over there. So I don't know if I'm going to get to that today. I might have to come back and do that again. To redo my little food area, I also need a couple coolers. I had an idea to use smaller ones so that we wouldn't take up much space, and I think I found just what I need here at Canadian Tire. Good morning. It is 6 something right now. Melissa's probably going to wake up and wonder where I went, but sometimes you just get up and you're ready to go for the day. And today is going to be a bit of a busy one too. The wood that needs repair today is right down there. See how it's starting to rot? It's because when they did the renovation, they didn't use pressure treated wood. That's just regular, probably 2 by 8 by 10 that they cut down. And as a result, when the snow piles up in winter, it rots it out. So I've got to get some pressure treated wood for there. You can see there's some wood that's deteriorating in that area here and around the other side under the windowsill. Now this shouldn't be that hard of a fix because it's just basically a straight cut plank. I'm going to take a little sample of that so I know what color paint to buy. And hopefully I'll get all this stuff in before we need to do the fix up. I've also brought in this morning my 2 little wine cellar fridges, which I have a future home for. And yesterday before I left, I cleared off the top of the shelf up there, and I'm gonna really start to do some renovating and shuffling today. But I better run over to the hardware store quick before anybody else shows up here. And what I'm looking for is pressure treated wood like this. What they've done is they've infused a chemical inside the wood so that it's more resilient to weather and being outdoors. It's what you'd use on a deck or an outdoor surface. In my case, on the bottom of the store, it sees a lot of water and weather and snow. That's what's going on. It's one thing that's really handy about driving the old ambulance. You can fit 10-foot long boards in the back of it. Can't even do that in a truck. While I wait for my help to show up to do the construction on the front of the store, I'm going to continue on with some of the merchandising. I'm going to start by moving some of the cups and houseware accessories over to the other wall, because I feel like the food and the housewares and the kitchen stuff should all be together. I think that makes sense. Now it's just figuring out what goes where. And that's actually kind of fun. So I'm kind of looking forward to this part. First things first, I'm going to move all the coffee cups, which have fun novelty little sayings and stuff on them. You know, if you're going to carry coffee cups, you may as well try and have something a little bit fun. I love having little things like this. If you're going to have modern stuff, may as well make yourself laugh. This is one of my favorite. No regrets instead of no regrets. That's just sometimes how my day goes, but you just roll with it, right? We're going to get that moved over. Same with the cups and the tea infusers. So we'll get that stuff all over the other side. And hopefully I'll have room to shuffle. But that's the whole point of making space the other day, was so that when I did actually have to move some of these things, I would instantly have somewhere to put it. It's like these shelves were meant for these cups. They fit just absolutely perfectly. And what I'm doing is facing them. And the idea with facing is that you get your basically you get your product as close to the edge of the shelf as possible, because if you push it back, it's a little harder to see and a little harder to reach for your customers. So a lot of stores, what they do is they go behind and they pull that product forward, or they face it to the front just to give it a nice clean look. So I've got my cocktail glasses, I've got my little tea section here with my coffee and tea cups, and then even my little tea infusers. So there we go, the Titanic, and we've got Mr. T, who's a guy who looks like he's soaking in a hot tub and maybe making a bit of a mess of himself. Cute, funny, tiny bit naughty. I am leaving a little bit of room, so I'm going to do another order and kind of fill that in with different types of infusers. But for now, that's giving me some room on the other wall. So I have to figure out which toys are going to go over to the other side. Now, these are the little arcade games that I picked up at the New York Toy Fair when I was there. So my kids like them. I'm sure they're going to be a hit once other kids get them through. They're not inexpensive at $32 Canadian, or I guess that'd be roughly about $25 US. But it is a handheld little mini arcade, full color with different levels. So I guess it's definitely occupied my kids for a long time. We'll see how they go over, but price point can play a big role. But that's one of those items that I'm just kind of testing the market to see. Well, I'm going to create a little feature wall over there and get these guys set up. I hear the sound of a diesel truck running in my backyard. I'm gonna go check it out and see what it is. Who is this? Hey. Sauntering through my yard? Why, it's Zenovia and Hans. Hi, guys.
Good.
Oh.
How are you, Alex?
Well, I'm good.
Yeah, man.
Well, I missed you too. It's warm out now. We're not freezing cold.
That's always a bonus.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I think Zenovia's a little cold or something.
Yeah, she's got the sweater. She's prepared for, you never know when we're gonna get snow here. So you're prepared to help me out today with the front of the store?
You bet. I'm ready and rocking and rolling.
Okay. So how's the little house has been treating you okay?
It's good. The little house is perfect.
Well, I'm glad to hear it. And you're looking good. You're looking fit. So, which is good, because then we're going to put you to work today. All right, let's come around and have a look at the front. Right. Yeah, that one's no good. I was hoping to replace all the bottom pieces, which are 2x10.
Okay.
And I bought, because I want to replace it with pressure treated. So I'm thinking that section there, this section down here, and I couldn't find, that's 1x8 plank. I couldn't find 1x8 plank unless you're going with pine or something at the store. So I ended up buying 2x8, which is going to stick out a little bit. So I don't think I'll be able to use it.
Well, no, we can make it so that we miter the corner and make it so it looks
maybe,
like
yeah. We just have to do the same thing on the other side, I guess.
Yeah.
So I guess first things first would be ripping off all that old rotted wood on the bottom. The priority for me is really the bottom.
Okay.
Oh, and there's this piece over here too. Right over by that window there, you can see I took a chunk off of it.
Oh, right there.
Yeah, I just bought, it's 1x4. I bought a new plank of that.
They just had plywood up there before.
Yeah, I know, and it's not good to have plywood in a...
No, you'd be better off to have your 1x4 up there.
Yeah. So are you, I noticed you're wearing your beard long still. Are you going to tie it up around your mouth for your personal protection today?
You bet. Just
There you
like
go.
This.
Yeah, you got a mask built right into your face there wherever you go. So
Well, yeah, that's safety precautions. Safety
that's right.
precautions.
Yeah, we don't want to see you get tangled in a saw and go flying around like a cartoon.
Hey, that would be funny.
Yeah, well, for like the first few seconds, and then I'd have to swap out the lumber with you in the back of that ambulance. Okay, yeah, if you open up the back, it's full of wood there. I'm going to keep my 6-foot distance from you guys today. Not because of social distancing, just because I never know what Hans is going to be chucking over his shoulder. Boy, Hans, you know, I don't think this is how you're supposed to take your lady on a date, but...
That's the way she likes it, though.
There's a joke in there somewhere which I'm not going to go to, but so is that did they use 2x or is that 1x?
Well, they went 2x and then 1x10.
Wow, okay. So we'll just have to strip that all out, I guess, and replace it.
Redo the whole piece.
Yeah, it's pretty rotted there. So it's cement at least behind there. At least the foundation of the building isn't all rotted, but nonetheless. All right, well, I'll leave you guys to it. I'll come check in a little bit. I'm just inside working on the other side of the door here doing some redecorating. So if you need me, just shout.
Okay,
Yeah.
that sounds good.
Here, Hans out there working away, chiseling out the old wood while I continue to empty my shelves off. Luckily, it's going to be nice out today. No chance of rain. Okay, throughout the day today, I've been getting some of the orders of product that we've been ordering to redo the wall of the store and try and carry some new stuff. Hans is still busy working outside there and apparently sweeping the inside of my store. But we've had Mackenzie from Brobrick come by and yeah, just brought some cool stuff. So Mackenzie, you got to tell me, how does a guy get started in the soap and grooming business?
Well, I started out being a freelance graphic designer. And then after about 5 years of that, I thought, well, I should come up with a product and brand a product and see how that can go. So I did a line of t-shirts and they did okay. I did a line of men's candles. I called them Commandals, but they didn't sell too well. So I thought, well, what do men use? And men use soap. So I came up with a line of like boozy, man-related soap. And that's how it all started.
And you had what started with Brobrick. Let's have a look at the, actually, we got a brochure here for it. So your product started off being guy-related or oriented sort of soaps. And I like that you've got Mountain Man and Whiskey and Chocolate, Oatmeal Stout. And so you started going through the guy range, but I noticed recently you've got the chick brick. So you've expanded into more female oriented products too.
Yeah, I didn't want to leave out anybody at all. And my wife said the Bro bricks are too big for her hands. So she goes, why don't you do a line of bricks that are a little smaller and scents that she likes. So she got to pick out all the scents for the chick brick line.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, and my wife is a big fan of lavender, so I know I ordered some of those. I'll have to bring one of those back for her to give a try too. But we've got the hair and beard balm. I think I might have a customer out the door there, because if anybody needs some beard grooming, I think Hans might take you up on that. He's busy working away out there.
It softens it up, gives it a little hold, and adds a nice little scent.
Yeah, I've been trying to convince him to do like a handlebar mustache or something. So far, no go. Well, we're going to give it a try. I'm going to get the wall all set up behind you here. So it's going to have front, nice central display with some other locally produced items.
Awesome.
And really appreciate you coming. And with the sanitary gloves, given our situation, that we're all set. So thanks so much for coming by today. And I'm looking forward to getting your stock out.
Thanks for having me, man.
Yeah, no problem. I've had these tops for a while, but I never put one out on display, and it's probably good that I do because they're really, really cool. Watch what happens. It's got 3 different primary colors, but when you start to spin it, look what happens with the colors. It changes the whole time because they spin at a different rate. It's just such a cool little thing. Fun little novelty for kids. They say about 3 and up, but heck, I'm over 3 and I think that's neat. I'm gonna go out front and see how Hans and Zenobia are doing out here. How's it going, guys?
Good. I love how bad they countersunk some of these. It's like, yep.
Yeah, it was. Well, this was done over 20 years ago, and some of it stood up, but you can definitely see where there was water piling up or where they pushed the snow that we had some rot. Luckily, the inner boards aren't terrible, but we're catching it, I think, just at the right time before it gets all bad. It starts looking like the Titanic in here.
Well, we don't want that.
No. Well, maybe the Titanic before it sunk. That was pretty fancy.
It's pretty fancy.
Well, that is true.
Yeah. I can see you've got all the rotted wood ripped off, and good thing too, that's basically turning into like balsa wood. There's nothing left of it. So you had a good idea though, Zenobia.
What's that, dear?
Well, when you were saying to use the 1x as the spacer versus using it as the fascia.
Yes.
What they did before, if I'm not mistaken, they had 2x4s pressure treated behind,
Yeah,
and then they put a 1x as the face.
that's right. So we just changed it up to what it was.
Yeah, and this way we'll have the thick pressure treated piece.
Bottom.
Yeah, basically taking the brunt. And it looks like you've put your man to work out here. Hey, that's almost the same color as your shirt. If you make a big whoops, you'll never notice.
Hey, maybe.
Was that shirt white when he started today?
I think it was.
It was,
Yeah.
okay.
Darn.
Yeah, well that color...
Somebody told me I should paint the car this color.
Oh, really? Well, now you're just being funny, I see. Well,
I said I don't think Alex would like that too much.
boy, now this is what I get for trusting Hans with a bunch of paint next to my white car. Well, it's looking good, though. That paint looks like it's going to be pretty well a perfect match for what was there.
Yeah, I think it is pretty close.
Yeah, well, they matched it up to the color chip. I mean, there might have been some sun fading on the old stuff, but, you know, I think it'll be pretty darn good. Decided that it was best that the cups and that sort of stuff all went near the window because you don't want sunlight coming in and hitting things like honey, because that's not great for it, right?
That's right.
And now, what is your company?
We're Good Morning Honey.
Yeah, and I just love that name. It's so wonderful.
Yeah.
It's fun. And your husband and I actually worked together many years ago at a TV station.
That's right, yeah.
And now here I am with an antique store. And if you would have told us when we were like young kids working at that TV station that we'd be, you know, I'd have a store selling honey and he'd be making honey, we'd probably be like, what are you, crazy?
What's going on here?
And now here we are.
Yeah.
So what got you guys into the honey business?
Richard, my husband. So he worked in television for many years, and so did I. And then he grew up on a farm and always wanted to do something farming related. So we bought a farm, and then the opportunity came up for us to buy some hives. And we started off with 900 hives, and now we have 3,200 hives all over Parkland County near Edmonton.
And you were telling me that you make like a crazy amount of barrels of honey. How many barrels do you make in a year?
Oh gosh, quite a lot. We make thousands of pounds of honey every year. So yeah, depends on the year, because it can be, you know, the bees make less honey, but they can make up to 200 pounds per hive.
That is
Usually you don't get that much, but
I guess that's why they call them busy bees.
yeah.
And we've decided to bring a couple in. So
Yeah.
why don't you walk us through what we've ordered here?
So this is the creamed honey. So this is a clover honey, and it's actually organic certified. So that means that the bees have used the clover flower to make this honey, the clover nectar. And it's nice and light, and it's really creamy. And then what we do is we add cinnamon to it, and we have a cinnamon honey. So it's the creamed honey with the cinnamon added to it as well.
I haven't tried that one. Now you gave us, like last year you dropped by our house and you gave us like a bigger jar of the creamed honey, which we still have some, but it's so good. I gave my mom a spoonful of that stuff and she was like, this is the best honey I've ever had. And I knew that when we started carrying this, you guys had to be involved somehow. So
Yeah.
I'm really glad that you brought it in, and we're gonna likely have it in this general area here away from the window. And hopefully the neighbors in the area will think it's just as delicious.
Perfect.
Well,
Yeah.
I guess happy trails, and I look forward to selling lots of honey with you.
Perfect.
All
Glad
right.
to collaborate.
Glad to have you. Honey is on the shelf. But I forgot that the other day I picked up a whole bunch of records and I haven't brought them in the shop yet. Now that the temperature's starting to rise, I gotta get them inside, because you know what happens if you leave a bunch of records inside of a hot car? Nothing good happens. So I'm gonna get those packed inside too. One of my neighbors in the area here was moving, and he called me up and said, come get all my old rock and roll albums. So I said, yeah, I will. He even gave me a motorcycle jacket and some other stuff. We got a good deal on all of it. Don't even know what records I got yet. I'll have to dig through those later on, but I can see that there's Rolling Stones, Some Girls, there's John Lennon. I'm sure he had, any guy that rides motorcycles, I'm sure he had good taste in rock music. So we're gonna pack these inside and dig through those later. Oh yeah, that looks like it's exactly the right size and color for that spot.
And we'll raise it up about 2 inches here.
Little miter on the end there.
Yeah, this one will have a miter coming back. Just gotta figure out My degree, or my angle here.
And what are you working on over here, Zenobia?
I'm crazy. Just on top of this L there's white.
Oh, I see you're doing some real fine touch-ups.
Yeah.
You might have sign painting in your future. We'll give our sign painter Dave a run for his money.
No, I think he's a perfect. He knows what he's doing.
Yeah, he's going to come back and do another sign for us, actually.
Oh, that'd be nice.
Mm-hmm. That'll be a surprise.
Oh, okay, I was gonna say, what is it?
I'll tell you off camera, but the people at home won't know until the time is right.
Okay, and I won't move up and tell them either.
Honey, you
Yeah,
want to
I-
grab
I-
that side for me?
Yeah, I was like, I think you need my help, man.
She's smoky over there, Hans.
Yes. I didn't know he smoked.
I gave that up a while ago.
Yeah, it looks like you're on fire, though. Now, the idea I had with these little wine coolers was that you can crank them down like a fridge, and they fit perfectly right in my shelving system, so I don't have to cut or remove any of the vintage shelves that are here. They can just sit right on top, get plugged in, and I can have a little variety of different types of sodas for my customers when they come through. I think that's super cool. I'm going to get the other one in place, plug them in, and we should have some new little fridges. Well, it's been a busy day. Things are starting to pull together, and I think I'm actually seeing the end of the tunnel here, but still a lot more to do. I've got way more tops than a human would possibly ever need. Well, the toy department is coming along. I still have a little bit of clutter here to clean up. My wall on the other side is just about done. I've got all my cups nice and organized with the accoutrement, some snacks and candies. And then this little area here, this is what's going to be new for my store. I've always had the candy on the counter here, but this is going to be a selection of sodas and bottles. So, and food in the back. So it's going to end up looking really nice. But I hear Hans out there, and it looks like Bottle Bob has stopped by. Hey guys.
Hey, I am quite pleased. Look at those corners, Alex.
Okay, let's have a look. Oh, ooh,
They
ah.
almost match. I think they do match.
Well, that paint's definitely the exact right color too. So that worked out
was
good.
perfect.
But look at what a nice job he did on these corners and seams. Cut it and caulked it and sealed it, and now it's all pressure treated and not rotted anymore. You guys did a really good job, Zenobia. It looks
Thanks,
good.
Alex.
I think it looks fantastic, Hans. I couldn't have asked for better.
Pleasure to work for you, buddy.
Yeah, well, now here comes the fun part where you get to send me an invoice. Can I?
I don't even like charging you.
Oh, you know what's funny? On my last video, I was complaining that there isn't a fire hydrant close enough, and somebody saw that. When they said you got one right in front of your store, that's one that we're actually selling. It's not a real fire hydrant. Yeah, but I wish it was real. Then I wouldn't have any problems. But I think it looks fantastic, Hans. I really appreciate you coming out to help me out with that today.
Anytime.
Yeah, it looks great. Well, that's it for today. I got an awful lot done. The front of the store looks fantastic, but I still haven't put away all these records that are piled up all over my counter. I still have a little bit of clutter that's piled up here and empty shelves that I need to fill up with some more Edmonton branded, Edmonton made foods, snacks, and crafts. So I'm gonna do some sourcing, find some more stuff, and we'll get it out there. But for now, I'm gonna enjoy some honey, some fresh soap, and I'm gonna go call it a night. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Have a wonderful day, and we'll see you all soon. Bye for now.